I call to order this meeting, special meeting of the School Board of Warren County for Thursday, June 24th. Mr. Ballinger?
Thank you, Madam
Ballinger?
Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. So, we know that Mr. Arnold Williams vacated his seat, and so we have some work here to do. We have 3 items that we need to go through. The first action item is to adopt a resolution authorizing the school board attorney to file a petition for writ of election. And I'll just read the explanation here. Arnold M. Williams Jr., North River District Representative on the school board and its chair, announced his resignation at the school board meeting on June 16, 2021, and by letter dated June 21st, 2021, with an effective date of June 20th, 2021, leaving a vacancy in the North River District seat. When such a vacancy occurs, the school board is required to petition the Circuit Court of the County of Warren to issue a writ of election. Adoption of the attached resolution allows the school board attorney to petition the court on its behalf for such a writ. Attachments are the proposed resolution authorizing the school board attorney to file a petition for writ of election, and then petition for writ of election to be filed with the court.
Any questions, discussion?
The writ starts how long? The writ starts with 45 days?
Yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir. So, do you want me to read the resolution here? I mean, I can read that if you want. So, gotta make sure I have the correct one. Are these in order, Rob?
I'm not sure.
They might have been at one time. Had he not shuffled them?
Let's see.
Because they both just say resolution, and I just want to make sure.
This is the one.
This is
authorizes the attorney to file
This is
it
the
on their
writ.
behalf. This is the first
Okay.
one, and that's the second one, yes.
So they were in order. Okay, thank you. So resolution, whereas the County School Board of Warren, Virginia hereby board is comprised of 5 members, 1 member of which Warren County Magisterial District, and whereas Mr. Arnold Williams Jr. was a successful candidate for the North River District seat at the general election on November 5th, 2019, and was re-elected to take office for the term January 1st, 2020 through December 31st, 2023, and whereas effective June 20th, 2021, Mr. Arnold Williams Jr. is no longer a bona fide resident of the North River District and has provided written notice regarding his out-of-district move, leaving a vacancy in the North River District seat on the school board pursuant to Section 22.1-29 of the Code of Virginia, 1950 as amended, and whereas the board pursuant to Virginia Code Section 24.2-226 is required to petition the Circuit Court of the County of Warren to issue a writ of election. Now therefore be it resolved that the school board attorney is authorized to file with the Circuit Court of the County of Warren a timely petition for writ of election, is substantially the same form as the petition for writ of election attached hereto.
So, this person would be running this fall for election
So yes,
this
ma'am.
fall?
So what we would have would be once, this allows for the special election in November.
Mhm.
And so anybody wishing to run for that seat, once this is done through the court, then they would have to contact the registrar to see what is the timeline to get their signatures. Because that will start a new clock, because June 8th was the date for all the signatures for current offices, but because this is a special election, there will be an open window, and they will have to contact the registrar.
I believe it's August the 13th.
Huh?
The person would have until August the 13th to file their 125 signatures to be on the ballot for this fall.
And that term would be until December of '23?
Yes, that it would be a
Okay.
2-year term,
Okay.
and then they'd have to
It'll be from
Running.
the day the election results are certified until
December
the end.
31st.
Mhm.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
And this person would be seated once the election results are certified.
Now, do we go ahead and appoint someone to fulfill Mr. Williams's term until December?
Yes, so what we will have to do, once you approve this, then the next item is for us to approve basically our timeline and and another resolution to fill the vacancy from now, because we only have
Until the
45 days until the election.
Okay.
And so we do have to fill that seat, and we'll have to set up interviews and schedules.
Okay.
You ready?
Sure.
Madam Chairman, I move the resolution authorizing the school board attorney to file a petition for writ of election to be adopted as presented.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you.
Okay.
Let's see, where's- Oh, okay. Adopt a resolution authorizing advertisement seeking letters of interest for the vacant North River School Board seat. Dr. Ballinger.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In addition to being required to request a writ of election for a vacant school board seat, the board is also responsible for appointing a member to that seat within 45 days of the vacancy. In order to begin that process, it is requested that the attached resolution be adopted so that interested parties may be aware of the vacancy and have an opportunity to apply for it. Attachments are the resolution for interim appointment, school board policy BBE, unexpired term fulfillment, timeline for filing board member vacancy, and North River Ad 2021. And if you would like for me to read that resolution, I will. Whereas the County School Board of Warren, Virginia, hereby the board is comprised of 5 members, 1 member from each Warren County Magisterial District, whereas Mr. Arnold M. Williams Jr. was re-elected to represent North River District of Warren County on the school board at the general election on November 5th, 2019, assuming office for the term January 1, 2020 through December 31st, 2023, whereas Mr. Arnold Williams Jr. announced his out-of-district move at a school board meeting on June 16, 2021, leaving a vacancy of the North River District seat effective June 20th, 2021. Whereas the remaining members of the board, pursuant to Virginia Code Section 24.2-228, may appoint an individual to fill the vacancy created by Mr. Arnold M. Williams Jr.'s resignation within 45 days of the occurrence of the vacancy. Whereas the board desires to adopt a calendar for the activities required to fill the vacant board seat, and to approve advertisement relating to the requirements for filling the vacancy. Now therefore be it resolved hereby that the attached calendar is adopted for the activities required by the board in filling the vacant North River District School Board member seat, and it is further resolved that the school board approve the advertisement for letters of interest in substantially the same form as the advertisement attached hereto.
Any questions or discussion?
The ad will be listed on the school website and.
So we will run that in the Northern Virginia Daily, we will run that in the Royal Examiner, we will post it on our website. So you can see that there's a cost, I believe, estimate $88.
It's probably gonna be a little more than that.
It'll probably be a little
What
more than
we
that.
did the last time, 6 years ago, it's gonna be a
Yes.
little more than that.
Yes, and so that will be posted out there for everybody that is interested.
Okay.
Trying to hit all of the media outlets that we can.
Is there a standard application form, or is it just?
I've never seen one.
It's something
I think
that's-
it's something, it's sort of spelled out, and it was the attorney's recommendations of
Do you-
limiting it to so many words and the letter of interest and then a resume. So there's not a standard app. The Warren County Public School application form, I don't think would be applicable
No,
to this. So
I know the county utilizes a a standard
For all
format,
their
which
Yeah.
doesn't seem to fit for
Citizen
appointments
appointments.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But,
Yes, our attorney, when we were talking to them, just recommended a resume and a letter of interest no more than 300 words.
okay.
So that was on the
So
recommendation.
emails are not accepted and phone calls are not accepted?
Well, they have to, way the advertisement is written up is they have to have their documentation to the clerk of the board by July 16th.
Okay.
So that would need to be delivered and be in this office. And it could be in email form because they could write their letter and email their resume to Mr. Ballantyne.
Okay.
So we would accept it, but as far as a phone call, if they do not have that documentation, then we could not
Okay.
entertain them as a possible candidate.
Yeah, nor if someone just sent an email saying, I'm interested,
Mhm.
and didn't send an attachment with the cover letter and the resume, then I don't think you would want to consider that.
Will the advertisement say, give them the opportunity of notice for email?
Did we?
It doesn't,
we-
but we can
we can add
add that to it.
That might stop some confusion.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so we could actually modify, so Mr. Valentine, if we want to, because we have on here to
Yeah.
the North River ad, do you want to, we'll need to
I
adjust
would
that
just
ad.
say must be received at the following address or by email to the following address
Yeah.
by July 16th at 4 p.m.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then, I know we have the timeline, and I know we're going to kind of talk about that, the final piece of that in the next
Okay.
item.
I move that the proposed resolution authorizing the advertisement for letters of interest be adopted as presented.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. Select date and time to interview candidates for the vacant school board seat. Dr. Ballinger.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Explanation and summary. The school board must appoint an interim member to the North River District seat no later than Wednesday, August 4th, which is also the date of its first regular meeting in August. The deadline for letters of interest is Friday, July 16, 2021. The board will then need to interview and discuss the candidates prior to making a selection. There are several ways this can be accomplished. Schedule a special meeting to conduct the interviews and make the appointment at that special meeting. Schedule a special meeting to conduct the interviews and then schedule a second special meeting to make an appointment. Schedule a special meeting to conduct the interviews and make the appointment at the August 4th regular meeting, or conduct the interviews and make an appointment at the August 4th regular meeting. So we gave a lot of options there, because one thing that our attorney kind of questioned us on, because August 4th is day 45.
So just drop dead. date.
That's the last day, and do you want to wait that long? Because if
I don't.
there's any unforeseen issues that maybe we don't have a quorum on August 4th, or maybe I think she even mentioned it's hurricane season.
Well, I think I mentioned, I said, we're not going to have to cancel because of snow, we know that.
Right.
But it is hurricane season and, stranger things have happened.
Well,
Can we look at the week
Emergency.
following July 16th? If the deadline is Friday, July 16th.
Yes, so
I did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going
Would that
to,
be our normal?
We don't have a second one in
I know.
July.
yeah, that
The
was
second one would be
That would-
when?
The
yeah,
21st.
the 21st. That would technically be.
Oh, okay.
I was going to see if there'd be a way that we could do the 19th or the 20th. Reason being is I was going to try to take some vacation the 21st through the 28th.
Oh, okay.
Since we didn't have a meeting either, but
Sure.
those last 2 weeks are about the only time that I have available.
Okay.
The 19th is fine for
Yeah,
me.
I'm good with any date, actually.
Yeah.
19th, Monday?
Yes, during the day.
Well, what
in the
time works
evening.
best for you?
I mean, I'll be at work.
The rest of us
but,
aren't really working.
We can do it evening, we can, whatever is the pleasure of the board.
I would prefer after work, but I can
Okay,
take
no,
off if
no, let's
needed.
do it when it works for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And it probably be more likely that people will want to come in for interviews
Sure.
after
Well, sure, because they'll probably be
business,
working too.
if they're working as well.
So when we're looking at that time, would you want to look at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock?
I'm okay with whatever.
What time do you get off work?
Because-
I'll be off by 5.
Okay.
We'll start at
If we do 6,
Six.
it gives us a head start.
And we don't know how many interviews.
That's right.
How much time are you allowing, or should we allow per interview?
Was
Just
looking
wait
at
and
the
see
schedule
how many.
from The last one, we had 2 candidates, it was the same district, and we had one interview, you had one interview at 4:30, the other at 4:45, so
Okay.
there wasn't much time in between them.
So start at 6 and,
Well, and I guess we can determine how much time to allot when we see how many applicants we have.
Yeah, we would need to see how many applicants we have. And-
You start at 6, okay.
Okay, so 6 o'clock on the 19th?
mhm.
Okay.
And I
And are
would,
you going to interview and appoint that day?
I would say we would make a second meeting, but I wouldn't make it.
August
Uh,
4th.
No, because it would, and this is eons ago, but I'll go back to when I was interviewed and went home, and they called me and said I had been appointed, and I came back and sat in on my first meeting, and that's a little bit much for some folks to have to deal with. If they're gonna be an active part, I would give them enough time so that they could get a little bit of orientation before the August the 4th.
Well, that way they can go and be sworn to and actually legally
That's,
take a seat.
yeah, that's the other thing too, is getting sworn in. And sometimes that takes a day or two because the clerk's not able to do it.
And we might select someone and they change their mind,
Mhm.
in which, seriously, that could happen.
Yeah.
So
It's happened before.
then we'd have to go to the second person. So I say within a couple of days after the interview.
When did you say you're leaving, Dr. Johnson?
I plan on being out the 21st through the 28th,
Okay.
so I wouldn't be back till that Thursday then.
I'll be gone that week on vacation, but our deputy clerk is most capable.
You'll be gone which week?
Well, the 17th to the 24th.
Oh, okay,
But
okay.
with
We ought to be able to make
Well,
a
I
decision
think-
that evening after the interviews, correct?
I would think so, and I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but you're not part of the selection process or the interview process, so the fact that you wouldn't be here wouldn't stop anything. I mean, we need Rob for
Well,
the,
in this case, it'll be Buck.
Yeah.
During that week.
yeah, for just some of the paperwork
Yeah.
stuff.
Do you want to do sometime that same week to make the decision then?
Well,
I prefer to make the decision that evening after the interviews, when everything's fresh in our minds.
sure, I think that's.
I'm good with that too.
Okay.
That's fine. I mean, even if it turns into a long meeting, that's okay, because I mean, I don't know how, again, I don't know how many
Applicants.
applicants we would have, but sure, that's fine.
Okay.
So the 19th.
Okay. So then like 19th. Uh-huh.
Okay, so for a motion,
It's the first one then, right?
yes.
I move that a special meeting be held on July 19th, 2021 for the purpose of interviewing and selecting the interim North River, excuse me, school district board member.
I'll second that.
That's at 6 p.m.
6
6
PM.
p.m.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Yes. Do you think for everybody's benefit, we should make some kind of announcement about the actual filing aside from that, so that if people want to, and, you know, it could very well be that the person who's selected that somebody that's not selected
Still
wants to
wants to
run and that kind of thing, so that we can give them the appropriate timelines, because it gets a little bit confusing. You know, to.
Yes, sir, I wouldn't see why we couldn't put something out.
And filing your petitions and those types of things gets a little bit confusing.
What makes it more clear that the person would then have to still do
Right,
all
still,
the
yeah,
signatures. Right.
being appointed does not automatically put them on the ballot in any way, shape, or form.
So what you're asking is for an explanation for this, the person that is maybe looking at being appointed, to let them know that, yes, they still have to run through the
Since we don't have,
signatures.
well, I mean, we could do it at the July meeting, but I'd just like to be able to get it out there for folks so that they can begin thinking about both aspects of it, whether they would like to be the interim, but also if they want to run, how they go about running.
Well, could we include that in the interview process so that it's really clear?
Yeah.
Because I could see where somebody could get confused.
Yeah.
Just remind them during that process and
Mhm.
ask them if they intend to run. That'd be part of our decision, I think.
Sure. Fine. Any further business?
I'm good.
No? Meeting adjourned.
All right, can I borrow your pen?